visionary, boy.
Yeah, we gon' do it for 9-6. Yeah, we gon' do it for hip-hop.
Yeah, second renaissance type
Who
shit.
would've thought that painting pictures about being broke would get me riches like Dylan Coke? Like Big Brother used to do so we could stay afloat. I heard them guns outside my window, them gangsters would choke. Thought about the life I wanted, picked up the pen and then wrote. While there was fire and you could hear sirens from people dialing. I know one crying in the phone. I was in the zone trying to make a living. Headed to work in the morning, every day felt like I was mourning as my dream was deceased. Until I quit my job and my work ethic increased. Elevated in levels I ain't never seen. Stacking this cream, living the American dream now. I'm going crazy, I ain't slept in days. Dreaming of Michael Jordan money like I slept in J's. Always shouting out my team cause I get all the praise. But they the ones that motivate me on depressing days. See, I'm from Maryland with cats draw gas like animation. For the smallest altercation that can lead to termination. With a rapper on every corner like the rest of the nation. Passing bars back and forth like legal examinations. As a youngin' I was running wild. Me and my homies skipping school, puffing on that lab. Doing shit just to do it cause we wasn't allowed.
Alright guys, how's it going? It's Mario Unreal here, and today I'm bringing you guys an absolutely beast of a gameplay. This is a 258-0 on the map Raid, playing some ground wall domination, and this gameplay isn't actually for myself, it's another AMP member's gameplay, so definitely go and check him out via the link in the description. This is probably, I think, the second or third highest flawless gameplay there's been on Black Ops 2 as of yet. He's using the MSMC, and it is on the map Raid, as I said, and I think the map Raid in general, as you guys probably know, is just like a really, really good map for going for like these insane gameplays, whether or not it's like the highest flawless or whether or not it's like 200 pluses and stuff. It just genuinely is so suitable for going for these kind of gameplays, and I think it's kind of down to the spawns themselves. Something I'm going to come to in just a second when talking about the kill streaks is that when you're in the Lodestar, you can spawn trap at both the A and the C side so effectively, which is quite different to other maps, you know. For example, in my opinion, if you play Meltdown, the Lodestar isn't as effective because there's buildings so close to either spawn and it's quite easy for them to kind of leak into them. Whereas A and C, you know, there's trees, and in the other side of the spawn there's also the garage, which can kind of enable you not to be able to get them as easy, but if you get them, you know, in that kind of area where they can't run around, you can just get so many kills and it accumulates so fast. So I'll come back to that in just a second. Likewise, I just want to go back to talking about the MSMC. Now, the MSMC, in my opinion, is probably one of my favourite SMGs. I used to use the PDW a lot, and one of the main reasons I personally moved away from it was because a lot of people used to complain about it in YouTube videos, which, you know, do what you want to do. I don't really think there's much point in complaining about a gun, to be honest, but you know, it was quite overused, so I kind of took a step back from it. And something I kind of found from doing that is that when you use the PDW, you're quite inaccurate, and I think it's because of the large magazine size. You know, you tend to spray a lot. You don't have to be accurate with it. Whereas with the MSMC, if you're not accurate and you miss bullets and stuff, you quickly have to reload, which can cost you gameplays if you get killed whilst reloading and stuff like that. So since using that sort of like SMG as well as, you know, the Vector, the Scorpion, I've kind of learned that I have to be more accurate, and I do actually think it's helped improve my accuracy. So that just might be something that you guys may find out if you use the MSMC. But like I said, it's probably my favourite submachine gun. I play with it in public matches and league play, and I kind of switch it up. You know, if I'm in league play, I don't play with a silencer, but if I am in public matches, I sometimes play with silencer and sometimes don't. I'm not sure what attachments he's using in this gameplay. I personally like the quick draw handle and the foregrip, but that's just down to my own personal preference. That's what I normally rock on it. So, I mean, you can probably see from the gameplay actually what he is exactly using. I'm just not 100% sure in his class setup, but as I said, the MSMC is a really good submachine gun, probably one of my favourites, and in my opinion, it's actually pretty good if you want to kind of get your accuracy a little bit better, because you have to be accurate when using it if you want to win gunfights. The next thing I want to come to is the kill streaks themselves. Now, so many people always ask me in comments on any video I ever make which kill streaks are the best to run, or the score streaks, whatever you want to call them. And it's normally kind of coming down between either the Escort drone, the Orbital VSAT, or the Lodestar, and people aren't never kind of too sure as to which ones to use. In my opinion, it really does depend on the map. A lot of people, you know, are different. It does kind of come down to a certainty of personal preference, but in my opinion, I kind of switch it up between the different maps. You know, if I'm playing, as I said, Meltdown, I just don't feel the Lodestar does too much work on that map. You know, there's buildings which are really near the spawns, and I kind of feel it's really easy for players to kind of leak out into them buildings quickly, and therefore, you know, you're not going to be able to kill them with your Lodestar, whereas on this map, there is buildings. It just tends to be, when I play anyway, you know, it's quite easy to maintain them and stop the actual enemies from getting into those buildings fairly easily, you know what I mean? You know, obviously there is them about, probably in game terms, 10-20 meters from the spawns, but as long as you don't hit the trees or the garage, you can pick them off really easily, and I think that's why so many people seem to do so much work on this particular map. Likewise with Turbine. Turbine's another great map which people seem to get these really high scoring gameplays on, and that again, in my opinion, is because the Lodestar does so much work on it. There's nowhere really the enemy can go because it's a massively open map. Turbine, quite different to Raid. But again, you know, those two maps, in my opinion, you want to run the Lodestar on. Meltdown, let me think of some other ones. Nuketown, I mean Nuketown you could run the Lodestar obviously, but you know, the Meltdown, Overflow's another one. Meltdown, Overflow, I would go with the Orbital VSAT because Lodestar doesn't do too much work on them because people seem to just like leak out into buildings and stuff like that. But that's just something I want to quickly mention. I'm just trying to kind of cover different things that I know people are going to ask in the comments. I have actually been asked to do this commentary kind of last minute, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed it regardless. I do apologize for being kind of random, but again, like I said, I'm trying to cover everything that may be asked, and hopefully my pointers regarding accuracy when using submachine guns is going to help some of you guys. Like I said, when I started using the MSMC a little bit more, I did actually notice quite a bit of difference, and I think my accuracy actually went up by like 0.1% as well, because the PDW, I don't know what's with it. I do think it is the kind of big magazine size it has. You can just kind of spray with it and people just tend to do so, and I know that I did quite a bit and didn't really realize, but when you use like the SMGs such as the let's just think the Scorpion, the MSMC, the Vector, you know, you've got to be like a little bit more sparing with bullets. You've got to be accurate, otherwise you're not going to win gunfights, and I do think it does make quite a big difference. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this gameplay. If you have, definitely go make sure to check out the player. Come and check out my channel if you'd like to. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you want to leave any feedback or anything like that, then it's always super appreciated. But yeah, hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you all soon, and until then, goodbye.